Okay, so the LLC, it should be owned by a revocable trust. This is our flow chart for a continuation trust, which is a trust for a married couple. Above this dotted line is why they're both alive, so the LLC would be owned by their trust. One of them passes, it's still owned by the trust for the surviving spouse. And then here's where it gets interesting after they're both gone. So we've talked in some of our previous things about subtrust. How would you describe a subtrust, Will?
There's different types of subtrust, dynasty being one. Our most common that we've been talking about in previous episodes is our age trust, where the trustee is holding money in a trust account after the deceased has passed away for the children to reach a certain age. Kind of just a trust that gets created after the parents have died.
In a trust, I would say probably the most simple definition is a subtrust is a trust created by another trust.
Right. Yeah.
So what we're looking at here is after both of the trustors have passed away, or is a single person after they've passed away, and their trust splits into 3 different dynasty trusts, is what this is showing. My recommendation, I think good estate planning is about options. We want to provide good options for the future. Now, I don't like to specify usually what's going to happen with the assets in trust after the death of both trustees. What I mean by that, sometimes people will say, I want to make sure this house is sold and all this, or can you think of other examples, Will?
In law school, we went through some of these, where you could be very narrow and say this trust can only be used for maintenance on the house or the business of a shopping mall, or, what you could get very particular, I think.
So generally we don't, if there was no specific gifts and the trust owned an LLC with a cabin in it, first we would see if anyone wants it. It would say, does anyone want the cabin as part of their share?
Yeah.
And maybe the other kids aren't interested in it. And sometimes it happens that way. As long as there's enough assets to equalize, that's a good option. Let's say this was a $3 million estate with the cabin being worth $1 million and $2 million of other liquid assets. So if this middle child said, hey, I want the cabin,
I'll give you their
you said, cool, we don't care. We want the money. Then there you go. So that's an easy distribution. That transfers the property to this one single owner. So sometimes we see, parents will want, or someone designing a plan, they'll say, I want this to go to all 3 of them, to multiple people, but sometimes they don't want it, right? So that's why I'd rather let them choose.
Right.
So just, we have all the assets in the trust with specific things like real estate and businesses. We can ask the kids if they want it. And a lot of times we are able to work out where just one of the kids want it, or maybe 2 of the kids want it. Now, what if all 3 of them want it? What if we want to share it? What if they want to share it? The best way to do it, if all 3 of the kids or multiple beneficiaries want this property, is each of their dynasty trusts could own, so they could be members of the LLC.